you start to feel like, I can't live like this. I'm not going to live in this box. I need to be free. I need to be in my passion. I need to feel purposeful. I can't keep having an answer to Mr. Charlie or Uncle Sam. I got to do something different with my life. This relationship is not working for me anymore. I don't care what the people think. They can kiss my boudoir. Whatever. Welcome to Butterfly Transformations, beautiful butterflies and perfect people. Today we are talking about the 13 signs that you are shifting into a higher vibration. You're with Tunisia Ali of Butterfly Transformations, and we are getting you out of your cocoon and into your wings. Number one, you become a quite bit more intuitive. The first way you know that you're shifting into a higher vibration is because you become more conscious, more aware, more awake. You become more attuned to the things that are going on around you and to your inner guidance. Why? Because when you start to awaken, your third eye starts to awaken, your spiritual eye. Number two, the second way that you know that you are shifting into a higher vibration is because you begin to develop a heightened sensitivity to the things around you. There is no way that your third eye can begin to open and you not become more energetically sensitive, because your third eye governs the unseen, right? It's connected with clear seeing, clear feeling, clear knowing. It's going to also connect you with the greater sense of spirituality and things that are in the unmanifest realm, which is where the feelings of energy come from. So if you are feeling more sensitive to people's emotions, feeling more sensitive to certain spaces that you may be in, work in, inhabit, all of that stuff, know that that's a sign that you are becoming more aware, that you are having a shift in your vibration. Number three, the third thing that is a sure sign that you are heightening your vibration or you're experiencing a shift in your vibration is you begin to notice the sheer increase of synchronistic events in your life, which we refer to as synchronicities, which I also call coincidences, because people, I think, misunderstand the word coincidence. Coincidences are when things coincide. And the only way that a synchronistic event happens is when things coincide. Okay, so it's a divine and purposeful event that comes into being or manifests itself as a result, really, of the dominant vibration of the thoughts that you are having. And when you're raising your vibration, things that are pleasant begin to happen in your life, and you start to draw more of these pleasantly noticeable synchronicities. And I say noticeable because we always have synchronicities all the time, but we don't always see them the same. And once you begin to work on your vibe, then you're going to notice an increase in these synchronicities, and they're going to play out in the way that reflects what's going on up here. And so the things that you wish for, the things that you want for, desire, seek to attract to you, seek to magnetize, are going to begin to make themselves known to you. Or the ways in which you can make those things happen, or you can have those things or have those experiences, are going to begin to come clear to you. Number four, as you begin to shift into a higher vibration, is that you will start to notice this dissatisfaction with where you are in your life. Not that you're being ungrateful, but this dissatisfaction with feeling like you've been under control, or you've been under repression or oppression or suppression. You start to feel like the box, the matrix, this little game that we've been in for all of these years, you start to realize this is not you, and you're not vibing with this. And even more importantly, you start to realize this ain't real. This is not reality. This is just an illusion. And as a result of that awakening, or as a result of that being able to begin to have a greater insight into the nature of reality, you start to feel like, I can't live like this. I'm not going to live in this box. I need to be free. I need to be in my passion. I need to feel purposeful. I can't keep having an answer to Mr. Charlie or Uncle Sam. I got to do something different with my life. This relationship is not working for me anymore. I don't care what the people think. They can kiss my boudoir. Whatever it is, you start to say, you know what? It's time out for all of this. I need more in my life, goddammit. And I'm going to get more in my life, okay? Also, and that brings me to my next, to the fifth thing that I feel is something that you start to experience, and I kind of touched on it in number 4, which is you start saying, I can't live a normal life. What I see these other people doing out here, getting up, going to 9 to 5, slaving away, coming home, watching TV, being stressed out, being unhappy, being irritable, road rage, the chaos, the madness, being broke, struggling, life is hard, all this crazy nonsense, you start saying, that ain't my cup of tea. Like, I wasn't created to live that way, and neither were they. But the difference is, I know I wasn't created to live that way. If they want to be in that paradigm, that's on them. But you start saying to yourself, I can't keep doing this. And you start looking for a way out. And for those of you that have a way out, you begin to really dig into that way out, and you become passionate about creating a different kind of life for yourself. The sixth thing that you're going to start to notice when you shift into a higher vibration is that you start to not give a darn about what other people think. Now, this is a journey, because it initially starts with you starting to feel more comfortable with who you are, and then starting to express yourself differently in your life. Maybe you start to dress differently. Maybe you come out of some type of traditions that you have been steeped in all of your life. Maybe you stop worrying about what people think. Maybe you stop hiding behind this facade or this mask that you put up. But the bottom line is, you start to really care less about what other people think, which means you free yourself from the shackles of people pleasing. And you start to realize that the only thing that you came to this planet for was to express the glory of God within, and to live the fullest life, and to be of service to mankind. And being of service to mankind is not the same as being enslaved to mankind. So suddenly, in your journey, you start really living the life that you want to live, and you will find that you will leave people behind because they don't want to be bothered with you anymore. Because see, people like to be enslaved. They like to be under occupation. They like to live what to them is a simple life, where they're not trying to grow in any direction. They're not interested in being an outlier and being different. They need to conform. They like to be in that box because it gives them a sense of comfort. So those people you're not going to vibe with anymore, baby. You're not going to vibe with them, but that's okay, because your life is no longer about people pleasing. Your life is about living life to the fullest, because you start to realize the blessing of life, and you start saying, why am I wasting this time? The seventh thing that you're going to notice when you shift to a higher vibration is the societal conditioning that has kept you down. This idea that there's one truth and one belief system and one way of doing things, and anybody who doesn't conform to that there's something wrong with them. All right? That BS. The belief systems, which are BS. You start to realize that life is not supposed to be no damn struggle. Life, you're not supposed to be broke. That you're supposed to be as abundant as that tree you can look out there and see, with all them leaves that just keep coming back no matter what. And even them doggone weeds that come up and try to strangle the fruit in your garden. You're supposed to be as abundant as that. And you start to realize if you're not experiencing that level of abundance, then the problem lies within. And that this thing out here has been a source of the problem. So you start really seeing things for what they are. You start realizing that the world is an illusion, and that it has been a source of your delusion. That is a big, 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 big thing you're going to notice. Number 9. The ninth thing that you start to notice when you're raising your vibration is it becomes easier for you to recognize and rise above the pettiness, whether it be petty, time-wasting conversations, gossiping, talk about matters that have no substance and have no serious implication for your life, you start to rise above the pettiness. That may mean that you are no longer interested in TV or the nightly news or something else that has enslaved you that you realize has no basis in reality. It could mean that the conversations you've been having with the people that you thought you had something in common with, suddenly you start seeing them for the shallowness that they represent, or you start seeing them as representing something that no longer vibrates with the things that are important to you. You start looking and needing more meaning in your life, and you start finding and focusing on the things that are more meaningful in your life. You begin ultimately to grow. And that's really what it's about. You begin to grow. And whenever we grow, we leave things behind that are no longer serving us. It actually becomes easier to do this. So that is something that's key. Number 8. The 8th thing that you will begin to notice as you begin to shift into a higher vibration is you begin to notice and benefit from this feeling of openness and the realization of oneness with all things. You begin to have periods where you can access this field of oneness, this field of interconnectedness. You begin to see yourself in other people. You begin to see other people in yourself. You begin to feel more connected, more compassionate, more loving, more giving. You begin, when I say to feel the oneness of things, you have a greater respect for creation, for animals, for the burdens that society is placing on the environment. You may find yourself caring more about Mother Earth. This idea that we are all connected starts to permeate your life in a way that opens up your eyes to certain realizations that you've never experienced before. Number 10, the 10th thing that is a sign that you are entering into a higher vibrational field or a higher vibrational experience or shifting your energy is the desire to change your diet. This can sometimes happen subtly over time. You'll find that the foods that you gravitated towards in the past that were a source of addiction for you, or that were a source misery for you. Maybe they gave you side effects. Maybe eating certain foods made you feel bloated. Maybe you put on pounds because you ate too much fried foods, or you didn't like vegetables. Certainly you start teaming with the vibration of life, and you require a different level of sustenance. Because remember, at this time, when you raise your vibration, your reality changes, your biology changes, the nature of the way you see things and experience life changes. So if those things are changing, it's quite natural that you're going to be shifting to need something of greater vibration to feed your physical body as well. So you begin to gravitate towards foods and ways of eating that are more life nurturing and life sustaining. Number 11. The 11th thing that you will notice as you begin to shift into a higher state of awareness is you begin to desire and find yourself in spaces where you're getting fed more high vibrational experiences. Meaning you may begin to participate in meditation. You may be drawn to yoga, tai chi, qigong, exercising more, anything that makes you feel more positive energy flow and have a greater control over your energy and a greater appreciation for the vessel that your body is, for having this wonderful physical experience. You're going to start to notice that. In the same way, you're going to start to notice that you'll be engaging and drawn to more groups, meetups, and discussion formats that have to do with upliftment, personal development, and managing your energy better. So number 11 has everything to do with what it is you're going to start to be drawn to, and the places and the environments that you're going to start to feel more comfortable in that reflect your desire to keep your energy up. Because as you raise your vibration, you're going to find that you're going to be a heck of a lot more energized. Okay. Number 12, and this is kind of key. You start to realize the limitations of the current relationships in your life. kind of talked about this briefly in one of the earlier numbers or the earlier bullet points. But you begin to recognize that the relationships in your life are not feeding you in the ways that you need to be fed. And this can be difficult because a lot of times it can be people who've meant a lot to you. They can be so-called best friends, they could be lovers, they could be spouses. You start to look around and you don't feel quite at home with the tribe you thought you were vibing with, and you start to look for the tribe that you know you vibe with, or you start to feel a different resonance with the new people that are coming into your life. And new people will be coming into your life because as you raise your vibration, you're going to be attracting new people. And as you raise your vibration, the old vibrational frequencies can no longer maintain aliveness at that level. And what that's just a basic dynamics of physics. Like attracts like, right? We're talking about the law of resonance, or some people refer to it as the law of attraction, but either they would have to raise to your vibration or you would have to go down to their vibration, and the likelihood of that happening is just not possible. So you get to a point where you can no longer really see each other anymore. You don't have much in common, and they just drift off, or certain things will happen that will make a situation possible for you to let them go. Number 13 is important too. As you begin to shift into a different vibration, you may notice that you begin to change things about your life, but you begin to change things about how you look. You may decide that you want a natural hairstyle. You may decide suddenly you're not as preoccupied with the edifice, and you're more preoccupied with this. So you may seek more nature-friendly, eco-friendly clothing. You may decide that you're tired of being in uptight outfits and you want to be in looser, more, bohemian style, hippie freestyle type clothing. This may seem superficial, but what happens is it reflects the need for flexibility and freedom of thinking in your life. That's really what it is. So it also reflects symbolically the need to come out of structure, or the need to come out of the conditioning and the structure that you have been programmed to be in. So this is something that happens. For some people, it can be very sudden. For other people, it can be very subtle. You may have certain rituals and dogmas that were a part of the religious traditions that you once identified with, or that you still identify with, and those rituals no longer appeal to you, and you may find yourself needing to dress differently and deciding, this is not me anymore. So changing the way you look. Oftentimes people will cut their hair. All right, cutting your hair has a lot to do with where you are symbolically. Changing your hair has a spiritual connection to your spiritual journey. So there are any multitude of things that people change in the physical way in which they express themselves that reflect the subtle spiritual phenomena that's going on under the surface. So I hope that you have gotten something out of the 13 signs that are an indicator that you're shifting to another vibration, or you're going to the next level of your spiritual journey. Hopefully you can identify with some of these signs. If you can add to these signs, please leave a comment. If you can identify with these signs and you're interested in sharing how that experience has impacted you, or even impacted the people around you, please leave a comment in the comment section. Like the video, share the video. It has been wonderful spending this time with you today. I'm so glad that you stopped by the channel. I'm glad if you're new to the channel, I'm very happy that you found me and that I found you and that we are now vibing. Please check back frequently. Uploads and videos are going up all the time. I'm wanting to build the channel. I'm wanting to be a part of the change that is taking place on the planet and the shift in consciousness, and I believe that part of my mission is to help create a new world, and that's what I'm trying to do, and that's actually what you're trying to do. Otherwise you couldn't be on the channel and you wouldn't be vibing with me anyway. So join the evolution. I'm happy to have you here. If you want to reach me for an energy clearing or Reiki session, some coaching or spiritual mentoring, go to butterflytransformations.com or hidayareiki.com. The information is in the description box. Go forth, multiply, seek abundance, and be prosperous.